Well, we're getting a late start today because of me, because I was up until 2 o'clock editing a video. So the first thing we're going to do is move that truck over into this bay and bring that work truck in and take a look and see what that noise is. What do you think? I think it's a good idea. I think it's a carrier bay. That's what I think. But because it just resonates through the whole body, you can't tell where it's coming from. So my lift has been tied up, but now we can get it up in the air and crawl underneath and see what's going on. I'm curious to see if my lift extensions will fit on the OBS. Yeah, let's do it.
Hey, welcome to Rat Rodding. My name's Waylon Wire, and don't ever do what we do here on this channel.
Hello boys and girls, welcome back to Waylon Wire's Old Iron. I believe I have a little short video for you. I don't know yet because I haven't edited anything yet. I'm just doing the intro after I've done all the filming, so we'll see what happens. But I was sick for a few days. Hate to start out with an excuse, but I was sick for a few days, and plus we've been busy with grafting season. Victor's out in the field working every day. I've been on the phone with clients and researching some issues, some pollination issues between cherries, and meeting clients and taking care of my end of the business, ordering supplies, whatnot. So I guess we'll just see what we got. All right, thanks for being here. You want to play musical trucks, Victor? You move that one back and I'll bring this one over, and then you can put that one over here. Por favor y muchas gracias. That's pretty good. Can we get out? I don't think so. Oh, this ought to be fun to watch. Watch what's going to happen. You need some grease. You need some grease. Some Pam. I hope these things there fit the frame on this truck, you know? That'd be nice if they do. We're going to find out. Well, we found one nut missing on the transmission mount. It's got 2 bolts, and we found one nut missing. Victor said it's the moment of the truth. He thinks that's what it is, but I'm not convinced. You want me to get in there?
Yeah, right. Yep. I will.
Yep.
Some grease, oil or something?
How did you get up?
I don't know.
Whew. You're over there, it sounds like it's over here. Still there. Still making the noise. Something about this doesn't seem quite right. And I'm afraid to look behind there because whatever's back there is going to be really hard to get to. I'll pull that boot off and see what we got. Apparently there's a U-joint in there. I need to put some soap on that belt. Do that. Okay, turn it, Victor. That just don't seem right to me, but I don't know. There's no U-joint in there. I pulled it out. Nothing in there. Turn it, Victor. Hang on. Okay, again. Why is that doing that? Ah. Again. It looks like it's bent. It looks like it's bent. I guess we'll drive it till it falls apart in the middle of the road. Then call it, we either call a tow truck or an ambulance. Muchas de los dos. Been a busy day here at old Waylon Wire's Old Iron. Had to run up the nursery and pick up some graft wood for Victor so we can do a little job tomorrow morning, because the nursery will be closed tomorrow. Stop by the field, show him the wood, get his approval, check on things out there. Set up 3 meetings with clients. Yeah, 1 tomorrow and a couple next week. The apple you eat tomorrow might be one that we grafted a couple years ago. You never know. I had to put a new battery in my Dodge Ram. $234 for a stinking battery. I tell you, I'm stuck in the 80s, man. I can't believe what things cost. Whew. Well, this truck, as I knew it would, has destroyed my shop. There's primer dust everywhere. I mean, everywhere. Oh, I am going to box up all these parts over here. I've got some parts at wing window and that side window. I don't need that in here. I got to get that out and put it somewhere. And these headlight bezels and there's various parts and bolts and tail lights and mirrors and whatnot over there. I got to box all that stuff up and try and clean this shop up a little bit so we can work in here. Victor's backs the work truck up in here every night and loads up his supplies but the glorious thing about it, another thing, I interrupted myself, sorry. All this stuff, we got to do something with all this. Yeah. As I started to say before I so rudely interrupted myself, the wonderful thing is this truck is done. This truck is ready for paint. It's going to paint. I don't know when, but I know I'm going to get it out of here. I'm going to drive it out back and put it under the shed and cover it up. Then when the guy's ready, I'll take it down to him. I might even, if I get the shop cleaned up in time, I might even pull the dirty dozen back in and play with it a little bit today. We'll just see how it goes. I think I'm going to turn this fan on. That's my biggest fan right there. My biggest YouTube fan.
I'm gonna write YouTube on it. I got one fan at least. Hey, I think I'll set that in front of the door and just get the air hose out and try to blow some of this dust out of here. The floor, I don't know. I may have to hose it down. I'm not sure how to clean this mess up. But we're gonna do something, ain't we? You betcha. Well, I got all my parts in the box there, miscellaneous bolts and mirrors and headlight bezels, and various things. I've got some sealer, some color, some clear, some hardener, reducer. I don't know what else the guy might need. I guess he can supply it if he does and bill me for it. But I'm not gonna wash this thing yet until just before I take it down there. But I got a little hole knocked in that windshield, so I should be able to get this thing out of here and park it. Let me go move my Ram truck, and we'll take this thing out back after 6 long months in my shop. It hasn't seen the light of day except for swapping holes in here, that from that bay to this one and back and forth. Out of my shop. Amen and hallelujah. The other morning I went to start my Dodge and I was going to go see Victor and it wouldn't go. So discovered the battery was dead and it wouldn't take a charge. So I robbed the battery out of this until I got a chance to go in town and pick one up today. Anyway, I guess everything's going to be back to normal here soon. That is, if old Waylon had enough sense to put the battery in the right direction. There, that's better. Something ain't sitting right. What's going on? Ouch. Ow. I was thinking maybe this weekend we might drop the blade on this thing and get out and drive around a little bit. Maybe take Victor for a ride or something. Go visit with a neighbor or just show it off a little bit. You know, it's such a fine automobile. But then I remembered it's supposed to snow all weekend. So, I don't know. Maybe it won't stick down here, but You know, I guess I could still drive it around and just leave the plow on, huh? That's what it's for. All right, back in business. How long's it been sitting out here? A month since we had enough snow to plow, or a month or more? Probably more. I don't know if it wants fuel or if it wants me to stop doing that. Guess it wanted fuel. What's making that noise? Always something, ain't it? There's some shin busters for you. I like it. There's our graft wood for tomorrow for our little tiny job we're going to do tomorrow morning. Got my door cards. The other ones had gotten wet and they were all just wadded up and they just weren't working out. Didn't look good at all. So plus these had come loose and fallen out. These are a little better quality than what I had before. So yeah, that'll work. Well, this old boy's been sitting out here all winter. I wonder if it will cold start. I didn't have a battery tender on it. I usually unhook the battery cable, but I didn't. So it's kind of doubtful, isn't it? Well, we got a buzz. Imagine that. Kind of flooded it a little bit. It'll come out of it. Come on, boy. The clocks never work in a car very long. Inquiring minds want to know. This little truck runs so good, but you know, I'm kind of getting tired of that anemic little 250 California smog to death 6-cylinder. I can just imagine this thing lowered down and with a big box Chevy in it going potato, 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 potato. Anyway, I'm on my way out to the field. I'm going to pick up Victor. He's out there prepping some graft wood for tomorrow. It's Monday. And I'm going to go pick him up and we're going to go look at the next field and that they're going to do and talk about cut down on that. I advised them one way, and now they're talking, his foreman's talking about doing it another way, and I need to go look at it with Victor, and we have some concerns about how if they're cut too low, the weed spray will kill the grafts. Anyway, for anyone new to this channel that don't know what it is that I do for a living, it's funny, Mr. Heavy Chevy mentioned this in his last video, but I am known in the viticulture world and horticultural world as a propagation specialist. The short word for that is called grafter. So what we do is we go into the existing orchards and vineyards and we cut the trees back. Well, I should say trees because we're working in cherries right now. We're the go-to guys in Washington State for grafting cherries. These other grafters kind of run and hide because when you say cherries, because cherries are difficult to graft unless you know kind of what you're doing. This is my 43rd consecutive season of grafting, and this is Victor's 34th year with me. So we figured out a few common denominators. Anyway, we go into the existing orchards and cut the trees back. We don't cut them down to a stump, but we cut them back into the primary scaffolds usually and graft in a new variety. And they collect that desired variety from neighboring orchards or their own other blocks that they want to expand or propagate, as it's called. So yeah, we'll go in and put I think right now, what are we cutting down now? I'll have to ask Victor. But anyway, they've cut, sometimes they'll cut down a Lapin orchard maybe, and we'll put on Skeena or Sweethearts. And yesterday we grafted on some Sweethearts and some Rainier cherries. Sometimes we'll graft onto just a rootstock that's not any particular variety, but it is a desired rootstock to produce a particular size of tree. These cherries, some of them, they're on a dwarfing rootstock. It's called a Gisela, which will grow a smaller tree so they can pick off of a smaller ladder, shorter ladder, 10-foot ladder or what. And I have a client right now where, well, I'm doing some research for him because he has a cherry called a Coral Champagne, but it's on a Mazard rootstock, and a Mazard is a full-grown tree, or full-size tree, excuse me. And so he has Lapins for pollinizers, but it's not working out. They're not blooming at the right time, so they need to cross-pollinate. And Coral Champagne cherry, if it's on a Mazard rootstock, a full tree rootstock, it will bloom about 3 to 5 days later than it does if it's on a Gisela dwarfing rootstock. Isn't that interesting? So now, his Lapins are not, they're not cross-pollinated because the two cherries are not blooming at the same time. So we're trying to find something we can graft into those Lapins that will pollinate the Coral Champagne. And that's just part of my world. That's what I do for a living. But I'll shut up about that because that's not what this channel is about. All right. Thanks for riding along. I'll see you later. Well, I think I'll stop here at the little coffee shack and take Victor a mocha. I can appreciate that. This morning it's a little nippy out. Quite nippy out, actually. Well, I had hoped to open these doors and blow the dust out of the shop, or try to today, but it's getting late in the day and it never did warm up very much. It's spitting a little snow right now, and it's snowing up on Mission Ridge up there. They're probably up there skiing today. So since I didn't get that done, I think it's supposed to warm up next week. But in the meantime, I think I'll bring the dozen back in since I got that red truck out of there. Thank goodness. Oh, so I got a few things I can putter with on this thing today without getting too deep, I believe. Let's do it. I opened my refrigerator door the other day, and all of my condiments fell out on the floor. This is what holds everything into the tray on the door. And I said,
What kind of deal is this?
now you see how poor people have to live. My folks were Depression era people. My father was born in 1913. So 1933, probably about the height of the Depression. He was, at 32, 33, he was 20 years old, and he told me lots of stories about riding freight trains, looking for a job. And I only remember one time, the entire time I was growing up, I remember one time him taking something somewhere to get it fixed. I've watched him make repairs, man, like this. I mean, everything from Mexicans to tractor parts, He tanned his own hide, butchered his own hogs, and tanned his own hide, and made his own moccasins and dog collars and belts, and can make anything and fix anything. The only time I ever remember him taking anything somewhere to get it fixed was he didn't have a welder, but he bought some hard surface welding rod and took it over to our neighbor who had a welder to hard surface plow point. That's the only thing I remember him taking anywhere ever. So and to me it's fun to do it. To him it was a necessity, but it's fun for me. And I think of him when I do things like this, so that's okay too. I don't know what kind of angle you guys are going to see here. I don't have you lined right up, but I think what I may do with this, I've got this bar mounted in here now. Well, it's in place, it's not bolted down, but just to get an idea, I think I may go ahead and use the same pattern as I did on the mounts, mount the tanks to the cab, replicate that, and put it out here. Now I can't see if it's, you know, how it's adjusted. This curve is supposed to follow the curve of the tank, and this one and so forth. I can't see, without getting in your way, I can't see if I'm lined up or not, but you get the idea. And I may do away with this. I may just narrow that down a little bit too, to get another inch out of the window. Not that I'm going to use that back glass. You know, I don't need a rear view mirror inside. I'll have side mirrors, but just to narrow that up a little bit, I may just take this curve into this one. I'm going to go ahead and drill the holes like I did in the other side. If anybody didn't see that, I'll show you now. And then I'm thinking in that center area below the window, I'm going to try and make a place to mount my air gauge. Switch hands here. And my pressure regulator somewhere in here. It's kind of what I'm thinking, below this bar. That's heavy. I don't want to drop it. Okay, that's an idea. May not be a good one, but that's an idea. My battery's going dead on my camera. I'm running out of time. Okay, guys, that'll do it for this one. I want to thank you once again for taking time out of your busy day to watch one of my silly little videos. If you want to see more on the grafting, there will be a video coming up on my other channel. Shameless plug here. It's called All About Grafting. So you can go over there if you want to learn about grafting. There's lots and lots of instructional, educational videos on that channel. I'll read a comment to you that was made on one of my videos. Made me feel pretty good. I got a kick out of it. I had to kind of decipher this comment, but anyway, he says, I've watched many videos from around the world trying to learn this. Most, I couldn't understand what was being said. I've even badgered Dave Wilson Trees. Dave Wilson Nursery is a large nursery in California. That's what he's talking about. And he says about being clear on their field videos to no avail. I finally watched you and bingo, all those hours wasted. Bless you, sir, for this video. And of course, I offered to help him if I can. Yeah, really nice comment. So anyway, that's it for this one. Like I said, thanks for being here and watching the video. And we'll see you next time. But until then, you know, oh, I sure do appreciate you. We'll see you soon right back here on Waylon Myers' Old Iron.